Hello, everyone, and welcome. Today we are going to discuss a topic of increasingly importance for us all in higher education: accessibility. Our goal is to equip you with the knowledge and practical strategies to ensure your digital content and services are inclusive for all students. We'll explore why accessibility matters, what it truly means, how to assess your materials, and the legal landscape that shapes our responsibilities, particularly here in Colorado. Let's begin by addressing the fundamental questions. What is accessibility and why does it matter? Accessibility means that individuals with disabilities are able to access the same information, participate in the same services, and have the same quality interaction as those without disabilities and with equal independence and ease. It's about ensuring everyone has the opportunity to engage fully and make meaningful progress in their education. In the United States, we are seeing a growing number of students with disabilities attending colleges. Estimates show 19% of undergraduate students and 12% graduate students have disabilities. With the Americans with Disabilities Act, or ADA, having been in effect for decades, our institutions have a clear mandate to provide equal access. True accessibility is not about reactive accommodations, but about proactive design, anticipating potential barriers and designing elements to be inclusive from the start. Now, let's define accessibility more precisely. Accessibility is often misunderstood. It's not to be confused with terms like available, free and open, or simply accommodations. Instead, accessibility is individualized. It's shaped by how individuals interact with the environment and their personal preferences. Fundamentally, accessibility requires a narrow focus on individuals with disabilities to ensure they can acquire information, engage in interactions, and enjoy the services that are equally integrated and effective manner. So, how do you know if your materials are accessible? In this course, we ask for several deliverables of evidence that you have completed this module. The evidence for this section is to have you update your resources, and in addition to this video, the PowerPoint contains several links and videos to helpful resources. Now, you can ask yourself three key questions when reviewing your materials, whether it's a course syllabus, a presentation, or an online assignment. Question 1. To whom is the material accessible? Under what conditions? And for what tasks? This prompts you to consider specific individual needs and their interaction with the environment. Question 2. What are the barriers that prevent individuals from accessing the material? When materials aren't created with accessibility in mind from the start, they can inadvertently create barriers. And question 3. What ideas do you have to better design that material to be more accessible? Think about providing flexibility in formats such as digital, audio, textile, large print, graphic, or braille. All these improve accessibility for a wider range of users. Remember, accessibility is everyone's responsibility. We should all collaborate with colleagues to learn more about accessibility technologies and options available. A sense of ownership over the learning experience ensures that each student has their different needs and preferences addressed. Resources like the Universal Design for Learning, or UDL, has guidelines that are very helpful for designing materials that are accessible from the outset, focusing on principles like perception, physical action, and expression in communication. Again, here's an opportunity to continue to work on updating your resources to have accessibility features. Several crucial laws and policies govern digital accessibility with higher education. Federally, we have Section 504, Section 508, Americans with Disability Act, and now the Colorado Digital Accessibility Law. As mentioned before, this PowerPoint has several helpful YouTube video links. These videos are short and provide a good overview on their topic. With Section 504, this law prohibits disability-based discrimination in programs receiving federal funds and requires equal access for students, staff, and faculty with disabilities, including online resources and course material. Section 508, this specifically requires federal agencies to make electronic and information technology accessible. While federal, Colorado also applies similar standards to state agencies and public colleges and universities. The Americans with Disabilities Act of 1990, the ADA broadly prohibits discrimination based on disability. Titles II, public institutions, and Titles III, private institutions, requires digital accessibility for all information and communication technology, which includes learning management systems like Canvas or Blackboard. Also includes websites, online portals, digital course materials, and assignments. Crucially for us in Colorado, we operate under the Colorado Digital Accessibility Law, also known as House Bill 21, 1110. This bill mandates that all public entities and state agencies, which explicitly include Colorado universities, colleges, and libraries, must make their digital content and services accessible to all individuals with disabilities. The core aim is to strengthen protections against discrimination based on disability in digital services and to ensure equitable access for students with disabilities in digital learning. The law requires adherence to the Web Content Accessibility Guidelines, or the WCAG Guidelines 2.2, which was developed by the Worldwide Consortium, or the W3C. The W3C's mission is to make the web work for everyone, with a strong emphasis on accessibility. The WCAG 2.2 is the current and most recommended version, which builds upon previous guidelines while maintaining backwards compatibility. The WCAG is founded on four core principles that content must meet to be accessible. Perceivable. Information must be presentable in ways users can perceive, which is providing text alternatives for non-text content or captions for audio and video. Operable. Users' interface components and navigation must be operable, meaning all functionality should be available via keyboard, for example. Understandable. Information and the operation of the user interface must be understandable by either the students or the users. And finally, robust. Content must be robust enough to be interpreted by a wide variety of user agents, including assistive technologies. While the WCAG defines 3 conformance levels, Level AA is widely considered the industry standard and addresses a broad range of accessibility barriers. The WCAG 2.2 also introduces a new criteria specifically designed to enhance accessibility for users with cognitive or learning disabilities, low vision, and those using mobile devices. Now, failure to comply with the deadline the deadline of July 2024 would be considered constitutes as a violation. An individual with a disability who is subject to such a violation can bring a civil suit, and the consequences can include a fine of up to $3,500 payable to each plaintiff for each violation. The liability for noncompliance regarding content or the platform hosting it lies in the public entity or state agency that manages it. In practice, Colorado colleges must ensure their learning platforms and course content are screen reader compatible, provide accessible PDFs, videos with captions, and alternative formats upon request. Furthermore, staff and faculty should be trained on digital accessibility. In essence, as higher education instructors and librarians in Colorado, we must actively engage in making our digital content and services accessible by adhering to the WCAG standards, particularly the Guidelines 2.2 at Conformative Level AA. This ensures equitable access to information and services for all our students. Thank you for your commitment to creating an inclusive learning environment. By focusing on these content level accessibility features, we can significantly contribute to our institution's compliance with the Colorado Digital Accessibility Act and ensure that our digital materials are inclusive for everyone.